Immunity. Immunity is nothing but defense system of our body. So daily we get attacked by different pathogens. They enter into our body, but every day we will not fall ill. We will not suffer from diseases because we have strong immune system in our body, and that is called as immunity. Our immune system or immunity are of two types: innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity means it will be by birth. It is there by birth, and generally it consists of various barriers. There are totally 4 types of barriers. We'll make list of those barriers. One is physical barriers. Second one, physiological barriers. Third one, cellular barriers. And fourth one, cytokine barriers. So these are the 4 barriers, and those barriers forms our innate immunity, which will be there by birth. Now first of all, physical barrier. Best example is our skin, our mucus lining. These are example for physical barrier. Now skin will not allow many of the pathogen to enter into our body. Then for our internal organ, there are some linings, mucus lining. It will not allow the pathogen to come in contact with the cells beneath them. That's why we consider them as physical barrier. So skin is an excellent example for physical barrier. Now coming to physiological barrier. There are some chemicals produced in our body in the form of fluid, like tears, saliva, hydrochloric acid in the stomach. All these, they can kill bacteria, they can kill certain microorganisms. They have that capacity, and we consider them as physiological barriers. Like saliva, right? Saliva is best example. HCl in our stomach, acid in our stomach, tears. Okay, all these, they act as physiological barriers. Cellular barriers, certain cells, certain WBC, leukocytes, like you can call it as PMNL, polymorphonuclear leukocyte. Generally, you can add the leukocytes, you can take down leukocytes. They engulf many of the pathogens. They have capacity to kill the unwanted thing or the microorganism, that is cellular. What is the cytokine barrier? This is very, very important. See, whenever virus starts infecting some of our cell, then that cell produces a protein called as interferon. Protein called as interferons are produced. Interferons are produced by infected cells. Infected by what? Virus. Now that interferon protects the other cells from the attack of the virus. So all these come under innate immunity. Now what is that acquired immunity? Let us see what is that acquired immunity. I'll tell you what exactly happens in acquired immunity. In acquired immunity, say a microorganism enters into our body. Say bacteria enters into our body, and that acts as antigen. That's called as antigen. It enters into our body, maybe in the blood or anything. Then our body produces army of protein to interact with this, to destroy this. That is mainly by lymphocytes. There are 2 types of lymphocytes in our body: B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B stand for bone marrow. T lymphocyte, T stand for thymus. They produce army of protein, and what you call them? We call them as antibodies. So the interaction between antigen and antibody take place, and antigens are nullified. The effect of antigen is nullified and we are safe from the disease. This is called as acquired immunity. This is acquired later in our life. Now this is a kind of active immunity. This is a kind of active immunity. There is one more called as passive immunity. What is passive immunity? This is actually acquired immunity, active immunity, and within this there is one more method called as passive immunity. What is that passive immunity? Passive immunity means the ready-made antibodies are sent into our body, like colostrum. The milk produced during initial lactation by mother, immediate after delivery, for first few days, what the milk comes out, that is called as colostrum. It is rich with antibodies. And when it is given to the baby, baby gets ready-made antibodies into its body. So this is one example of passive immunity. We can give one more example of anti-venom injection given during snake bite. Actually, the venom of the snake, the poison of the snake, which is antigen, which is protein. Okay, so it is mixed, or with the help of horse blood, antibodies are prepared. That ready-made antibodies, we call it as anti-venom injection, that is the antibodies, and it is given to that person who has got a snake bite. So that is another method. Even we use one technique, they are called as vaccination. Now, what is the concept of vaccination? Actually, there is vaccination available for polio. So, what exactly done here? Polio virus, the virus which cause polio, are inactivated or deactivated, and it is introduced into the body of the baby. Since it is in an inactivated form, it will not cause disease, but our body start recognizing that, and it acts as antigen, and antibodies get built up against that. In future, when really the polio virus enter into our body or in the body of that baby in future, so nothing will happen. It remembers the memory, and that antibodies are prepared and the baby will be safe. This is the concept of vaccination. So these all are best example for passive immunity.